Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. And welcome back, No Contact Army. I hope you've been a good soldier and you've stayed in no contact. And if you too would like to join the No Contact Army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to read the No Contact Army manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com. The direct link is below. So today I want to talk about the number one mistake people make when they're dumped. And I realized I needed to make a video like this because of something that happened with a client of mine. He heard from his ex after 45 days of no contact, and he thought that he didn't need to talk to me when he met up with his ex. And unfortunately, it didn't quite go as he had hoped, as he had planned. And the reason for that is because he made the number one mistake that people make when they are dumped. And that would be the assumption that you still have power with your ex, that you still have hand, if some of you remember that Seinfeld episode. You have to realize that when someone breaks up with you, at that moment, they take away all of your power. They strip you of any and all power that you had with them. Power is given and power is taken away. But power can be taken back if you know what you're doing. That's why no contact is so important, because it is the only thing that starts giving you back some power. That's why I'm so adamant that you have to stick to it until you hear something significant. And this assumption is also one of the reasons why people beg and plead when someone breaks up with them, because they think that they still have power with their ex and that their tears and their pleas will make their ex change their mind. But since you no longer have any power with your ex, it's not going to work. And people also beg and plead because they learn this from their parents, right? When they wanted something and they begged and pleaded after their parents said no, and oftentimes just to shut you up, your parents just gave in. It's like, fine, here's your cookie, here's the toy, just shut up. But unfortunately, parents are not doing their children a favor when they do that, because what you're doing is you're teaching them that even if someone says no or says something you don't like, all you have to do is beg and plead and they'll change their mind. And that's not realistic in the real world. It works with parents, but not in the real world. So if you have children, then be a good parent and prepare them for the real world. And when you say no, do not change their mind, no matter how much they beg and plead. Otherwise, that's what you're teaching them. Just beg and plead and you'll get your way. And then they grow up and they find out, it's not quite that way, is it? So please don't do that. Now, in believing you still have power, you hold the mistaken belief that all your ex has to do is to hear your voice or see you and they'll change their mind, like you have some sort of magical power. Now, you did have power with them when their interest level was above 50. But when someone breaks up with you, their interest level is no longer above 50. It's now below 50. Otherwise, they wouldn't have broken up with you. And if their interest level is below 50, then your voice or your presence, seeing you, talking to you, is not going to have much of an effect on them. So stop breaking no contact or responding to insignificant communication thinking that you've got this magical power, because you don't. They took that away from you when they broke up with you. Your only power is no contact. It's your superpower. Knowing how to do it correctly, knowing what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. That's why I've made an entire playlist, the no contact playlist. and I will link it down below. Now with my client, he contacted me for a session, and then actually the same day that he contacted me, and this has happened a few times, strangely enough, all of a sudden he heard from his ex, and she wanted to get together. And as I mentioned, it had been 45 days. And so he wrote back and he said, oh, I don't need the session anymore. And we're like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. Just because you heard from your ex, it doesn't mean anything. That's just the beginning of getting your ex back. It's not as simple as, okay, I heard from my ex after not speaking to them. All right, they want me back. It's all good. Okay, I don't need you anymore. If only, right? And so we convinced him, it's like, no, you do need a session. And so we set up a session, and it had to be at midnight his time because of the time difference, and that was really his only availability. Unfortunately, he fell asleep. So we didn't do the session, and I left a message, and I said, as soon as you get my message, please contact me so we can do your session. I was willing to do the session as soon as possible because I knew that he was meeting with her that day in his time zone. And he didn't follow through because he had this assumption that because he heard from his ex, now he had power with his ex, and now they were going to get back together and all was going to be well. And that's not how it turned out. It was his birthday, so she contacted him. They did get together for his birthday, but they did not get back together. So please stop thinking that you've got this magical power over your ex, that all they have to do is hear your voice, see your text, or see you, and they will change their mind. It's not that simple. It's not that easy when their interest level is below 50. Your superpower is no contact, staying in no contact until they say something significant. And you're asking, what is significant? I've done several videos on that, you guys. So just search through my videos and look for the ones that speak to your situation, okay? So if you would like my help personally to get your ex back, you can contact me about private coaching at theartoflove.net, and we will send you the rates. The direct link is below. If you're listening on YouTube, remember to like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening on iTunes or any other podcast platform and you're able to rate and review the podcast, I would appreciate if you would do that. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.